everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Creative with the LBC. I hope you are finding lots of ways to stay creative during this time. I hope you're getting some exercise up here and in here, and maybe you're even learning a new skill, like possibly learning how to play a new instrument. We've been doing, this will be our 7th lesson, and we have come a long way since the beginning. We're learning how to play this instrument called the ukulele. And if you've missed any of the first lessons, all the lessons are archived on the YouTube page of the Luther Burbank Center. You can go back and there's lessons for lots of really cool creative activities. But this is number 7 that I've done in this beginner series of how to learn how to play the ukulele. And we have 5 chords. We've learned 5 chords. We've learned the C, we've learned the A minor, we've learned the F, the G, and we've learned the D minor. So with those 5 chords, there are literally hundreds of songs that you can play. We've been learning a song called Count on Me. And today, instead of concentrating on the fingers that make the shapes of the chords on the neck of the instrument, I would like to concentrate on the other hand. Because when you're first learning these chords, it's nice to just keep this simple. And we just strum straight down, starting on the top string, going down all the way down. And it's a nice gentle strum, produces a really beautiful sound on this instrument. But today, we'd like to take it a step further and do something a little more complicated and interesting with your strumming hand. So we'll take those chords that we've been learning and we'll put a strum with it, and you'll see how just changing the strum a little bit really makes your song sound more interesting and more fun to play. So let's concentrate on our strumming hand today, and let's get to it. Okay, so today we're going to try to focus on something a little more advanced and a little more interesting with our strumming hand. When you first start out as a beginner and you're just learning how to make these shapes on the neck to make your chords, it's a great idea not to do very much with this hand. Keep it nice and simple, keep it gentle. And when you make your switches, your focus is more on what you're doing here. But hopefully by now, we've come far enough along that you feel comfortable with most of these shapes. Maybe the G and the D minor are still a challenge because they use the 3 fingers. But hopefully you're feeling a little bit more comfortable about that. And so I would like to add in something a little more advanced on the strumming hand. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break down a strumming pattern that's really common. Lots of people use it, and you can take this strumming pattern and do your own thing with it, but I'm just going to break it down very slowly and show you a different way to strum. Instead of just doing, which is great, but let's try this. Let's do our C chord, because that's the easiest chord, the one that we learned on the very first day. And let's concentrate more on the hand that's doing the strumming. There's a pattern, and it goes like this. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. That's the whole pattern. Now, when I play it very slowly, you might not recognize it as something common that you've heard before, but when I play it faster, that may sound a little more familiar, like, wait a minute, I think I've heard that before. So it's pretty common, and all you do, I just did the whole thing, and it's repetitive. You keep doing it over and over. So let me see if I can turn to the side. There's lots of different ways you can do this, but this is the way I'm doing it. I've got my C chord up here, and when I go down, I'm using my thumb. When I come up, I'm using my pointer finger. So you can go like this. Down, down, up, down. See that? Now that timing wasn't exactly right. But let's try it. Let's try it like this. 1, 2, ready, go. Down, down, up, down, down. So usually what you do is you just get very used to that. And after a while, you don't even have to think about it anymore. When I'm playing, when we go through this song, Count on Me, that we've been learning, and I'm playing later, it might look like I'm just moving my hand up and down, but really from the side view, you can see that I'm going down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Now, I use the two fingers, down with the thumb, up with the index finger. If you find another way that is more comfortable or works better for you, that's fine. And the other thing I should mention is some people do like to use a pick. Now, there are two kinds of picks. Well, there's more than two kinds of picks, but this one is a guitar pick. It's a piece of hard plastic, and if you play guitar, this is a very useful piece of plastic. You can do lots with it. If you play ukulele, you don't use the same kind of pick as the guitar. This one you can see compared to the guitar pick, the ukulele pick is much thicker. It's made out of felt, and it produces a little bit of a softer sound. And so you would do the same thing if you were going to use a pick. You take the pick and go down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. I personally like the way my fingers sound more than a pick, so I use my fingers mostly. So if using a pick is something that you might like to try, I would suggest trying to get a hold of a felt pick and not a plastic guitar pick, because those don't sound very good on ukulele strings. And if you do get one, try to do gentle strumming. It's going to sound way better, and it's easier. So, but I'm going to use my hands today, and I would like to break down this strumming pattern into two parts. And the first one goes like this. Down, down, up. Down, down, up. So I'm taking my thumb, 2 times down and 1 pull up. So we're going to go 1, 2, ready, go. Down, down, up. Down, down, up. Down, down, up. Down, down, up. Just keep doing it. Down, down, up on the C. Down, down, up. Down, down. One more time. Down, down, up. Okay, that's part 1. So we're going to now take the second half of the strumming pattern, which would be like this. 1, 2, 3. Up, down. 1, 2, 3. Up, down. I'm going up with my finger and down with my thumb. 1, 2, 3. Up, down. 1, 2, 3. Up, down. 1, 2, 3. Up. So if you put both of those together, you're going to get something like this. 1, 2, ready, go. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, now we're going to play through the entire song that we've learned, and I have a beat that we'll play with. And before you go for that, you might want to turn this video off and just run through each of the chords with that strumming pattern. So you're doing it you're probably starting with the C. Up, down, 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 up, down. Yeah, and then you go to your G. Up, down, 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 up, down. Then you go to A minor. Down, down, up, down, 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 up. Then your F. Yes. And then on this song, one thing that I like to do is when we get to the part that is the D minor, I change my strumming pattern. You don't have to use one particular strumming pattern all the way through a song. If you want to change it up, it gives a little variation. When we get to the D minor, you're going to hear me doing a strum like this. I'm just going straight down. Now, how am I stopping the sound? You can see my pinky coming down and muting the strings after every strum. So I go, I'm not pushing the pinky all the way down and actually fretting the string, but I am stopping the vibration. Then we go to the A minor. Then we go to the F. Then we go to the G. So it just changes it up. You'll hear when I do it during the song in a minute. But if you want, you could just keep the other one going. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, A minor, F. And then you go to the G. Now, I know I'm going fast right now. So that's why I suggest taking a minute and working with this pattern on your own without trying to keep up with the video. And this strumming pattern is something that you can use in many different songs. It really lends itself to a lot of different styles and different kinds of songs, and you'll find that it's one you just want to keep in your pocket and you just pull it out when you need it. So let's try to play the song Count on Me. Let's try to play that chord progression. How does it go? It starts with the G. I'm sorry, it starts with the C, and then it goes to the G, and then it goes to the A minor, and then it goes to the F. You know, this is something that we've done in previous lessons. Then we hit the D minor. If you're not sure about the D minor, go back and check it out on the last lesson. Then the A minor, then the F, and then the G. Okay, so let's try it with a beat. I'm going to turn this little beat on so we'll have a tempo that we can play with, and then we'll do the strumming pattern and see how those two go together. Okay, so here's our beat. Let's see what we have. There's our tempo. So our strumming pattern is going to go like this. I'm going to mute all of the strings, and it's going to go like this. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. A minor. Song now with the beat. And as I said before, I'm going to try to turn this way during some of it, because if you watch it from this angle, it just looks like I'm taking my hand up and down, and that's not exactly what's going on there. I'm doing some different movements, but at the same time playing this way, and it's a little bit weird. So I'll try to go back and forth and show you what I'm doing, but now you know what the technique is. So let's try to do the entire song to this tempo. Sometimes playing with the tempo, with a metronome, is a really good idea because it helps you lock in and it helps you keep steady. So let's try to do the intro with our strumming pattern. 1, a 2, a 1, starting with C, go. verse. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. D minor. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. Back to the sea, you can count on me like 1, 2, 3. I'll be there. I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2. You'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do. Oh Go to the D minor part. You'll always have my shoulder when you cry. I'll never let go, never say goodbye. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3. I'll be there. I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2. You'll be there. Okay, let's go back to the strumming pattern. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do. Oh yeah. You can count on me, 'cause G, I can count on you. So now we're really stepping up to the next level because we're getting more comfortable here. We're adding something a little more interesting with this hand, and now we're cooking. So what I would like for you to do this week in your practice is go through those chord progressions for the Count on Me song and do the chord progressions using the strumming pattern. Now you might not be able to do it as fast as the version that I just sang through, and that's fine. If you can't do it as fast as that, then you can just do it alone without this video. Go through those chords, but do them instead of going like this, do this. By the way, I forgot to say earlier, those are the same thing. If you do 4 strums, that's 1 measure. In music, you call that a measure. It takes 1 measure to do the strumming pattern. So instead of going like this, you can do this. Down, down, up, up, down. That takes 4 beats to do. So every time you see 1 measure, you can fit 1 of those strumming patterns in each measure. So go through and practice, and next week we are going to do a completely different song, but it will have the same chords. So you'll see what I mean. There are a lot of songs that go over these chords. But what's really exciting is when you've learned that first song, you've learned your first 5 chords, and you start to see that, oh, that wasn't just for that song. Now the whole doorway opens up, and there's lots of other things you can do. You can take what we've learned so far and do other things with it. So do your practicing. I hope you're feeling good about this. I hope you're getting better. Take your ukulele outside in the backyard and sit there and strum and listen to the birds. It'll make you feel good. All right, so I hope you have a good week, and we'll be back with a different song next time. But until then, take care.